Hey, so I'm gonna try and do this in one take because I am not really that great at video production and don't really want to go through the trouble of editing. So, without further ado, here we go. My name is Ethan, and in the midst of this COVID-19 craziness, I've been thinking a lot about how I want to spend my time. Been feeling pretty bored, and I came to the conclusion that maybe it's a good idea for me to try something that I've always thought about doing, and that is to put out some basic guitar tutorials on YouTube. And so I'll be doing this through It's A2F Life, our A2F channel, and the idea is to just share some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years on how to become a better guitar player. I know that many of you guys have thought about learning the guitar at some point in time, and now is a great time to continue to try and pick that up, given that we have more free time and all that stuff. So yeah, hopefully you can pick up guitar as a hobby now, and I'll be sharing just some basic lessons on how to do that. So the kind of content that I'm going for is going to be geared towards people who want to learn how to play acoustic guitar for worship music, generally in casual settings like jam sessions or just on your own as a personal devotion to God. And so yeah, today what I'm going to be going over is teaching you how to play the 4 magic chords the easy way. So by magic chords, I mean the 4 basic chords that appear a lot in different worship songs and different pop songs too. And I'm going to be teaching you these 4 chords in the key of G. This is probably the easiest key to do it in, and the one that I use the most personally. So here are the 4 magic chords. Some of you guys might know this already, depending on what your background is, but I'm going to run through it anyway. Here's what they look like and sound like. So the first chord is a G major chord, and it looks like and sounds like this. The second chord is a C major chord, and it's like this. The third chord is a D major, and it sounds like this. And then you have E minor, which is like this. And so these 4 basic chords will get you a really, really long way in playing worship music. Most worship songs will use these 4 chords and not much more. So some songs that I can think of that only use these 4 chords and nothing else include What Can I Bring?, Alabaster Jar, and Great Are You, Lord. So look those songs up. They're all great songs, and songs that you can learn today with what I'm about to tell you. So online, you'll probably, if you Googled like how to play these different chords, you would get some information, and most of it is like pretty good information. But one tip that I learned in 7th grade, which was 5 years after I started playing guitar, it changed a lot for me. It made playing acoustic guitar way easier. And so what you're about to hear from me is something that I didn't get until 5 years after I started playing. So what the tip is it's basically how to play these 4 chords in a way that allows you to transition from one chord to another without much trouble. And the reason why that's important is because a lot of people, they don't actually get stuck on knowing what fingers to press down or how to play the chord. The difficult part is knowing how to transition from one chord to another without fumbling over like your fingering positions, or without just like losing yourself or losing track of the beat or the rhythm. And yeah, so the way that you play these 4 chords without moving yourself around too much is this. You're going to take these 2 fingers, your ring finger and your pinky finger, and you're going to plant them right here. So they're going to be planted on the bottom 2 strings on the 3rd fret. And then all you have to do in terms of changing from one chord to another is to worry about these remaining 2 fingers. And that's a lot more manageable than moving around all 4 fingers at once. So we're going to start with a G major chord, which is right here. It's your middle finger on the 3rd fret, top string, and your index finger on the 2nd fret, 2nd string, like that. With C major, if you want to move to C major from G major, all you have to do is move these 2 fingers down 1 string each. As simple as that, from here to here, here to here. And then for D major, you're going to get rid of your middle finger, and then you're going to move your index finger down 1 more string. So from here to here, here to here. And finally, with E minor, you're going to put these 2 fingers next to each other on the 2nd and the 3rd string, both on the 2nd fret, right here. And so as you play these 4 chords, feel free to rewind and pause, whatever. I know I'm going through all of this pretty fast, but keeping these 2 fingers down at all times will make it way easier for you to transition from one chord to another. So again, the reason why I'm telling you this and the reason why this is such an important tip is because there are actually a lot of different ways to play all of these chords, and this just happens to be the easiest way to play these 4 chords together. So for example, with the G major chord, you can play it like this as I showed you, but you can also play it like this, like this, like this, like this. I don't know. Never mind. I think that's all I can think of. But the point is that there are many ways to play all of these chords, but there is an optimal way to play these chords together when you're playing in the key of G. And so being comfortable with just moving around these 2 fingers while you keep your other 2 fingers planted will get you a long way in playing songs with these 4 chords. So, next video, what I'm going to teach you is the importance of using a capo. This is a capo. I'm going to demonstrate why it's really useful. If you don't have one, you should get one if you're thinking about going a little bit further with your guitar playing, because it's very cheap, $15, and it'll get you a long way. Basically what it does is it allows you to play music in practically any key that you want. So rather than being confined to just G major, you can use these same chords, but just put a capo on a particular fret, and it'll help you transpose from one key to another. More on that on the next video on how it works and how you can use it effectively. But for now, the last thing I want to say to you is, or not say to you, but I just want to propose a challenge to you, and that's to try to figure out how to play the 3 songs that I mentioned earlier in the key of G. And those 3 songs were What Can I Bring?, Alabaster Jar, and Great Are You, Lord. You can play these 3 songs using the 4 chords you just learned, using the technique you learned to make it easy to transition from one chord to another. And bonus points if you can figure it out without looking at the chords themselves. Doing so is actually a really useful exercise in developing your ear for music, in developing your musicianship, and it's probably the #1 exercise I would recommend for everybody who's trying to learn guitar. I think doing that is what made the biggest difference personally in my own musical journey. So, last thing, like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Have fun, and if you have any further questions, just let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. See you guys.